Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder as I head out for a walk and deliver an episode to you while I stroll around. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good morning, listeners. It is a cloudy day here in suburban Chicago. The weather is in the mid-40s Fahrenheit, which is nice for the end of winter, a bit chilly for the beginning of spring. So depending which part of the season you're into, it feels either chilly or nice. I'm taking a walk today after having dropped my son off at the bus stop, and I have a work from home day today. So this is just sort of a get started with the day kind of walk, and then I'm going to be working from home. It is March 1st, and you know what that means, everybody. The beginning of March says that it's the beginning of a new month, which means it's time for Top of the Stack. In case we have any new listeners today, I'll remind you what that is. Top of the Stack is my monthly check-in episode in which I talk about the games I've played since my last check-in episode. I talk about a variety of metrics that I use to track my gameplays because I'm a nerd. And I talk about the goal of the month, which is the Top of the Stack list. If you would like to join in the conversation about what you've played, we'd love to have your participation over on the Board Game Geek Guild for Pick Up and Deliver. That's Guild 3269. You can find a link in the show notes, or if you go to boardgamegeek.com/guild/3269, that'll get you there. Or bookmark it. Why not? That way you can go there whenever you want, easily. So let's start, as I always do, with some stats. My finally monthly stats for February. I had 82 plays this month of 51 different games, which puts me at 172 plays of 83 games this year. My shelf of opportunity has gone down from 59 to 57, so I'm making progress. Not quite the speed that I would like. I probably need to be reducing it by 3 games a month if I want to make my goal of 30 games, or halving my shelf of opportunity by the end of the year. But 2 is nothing to shy at, given that last year, usually my shelf of opportunity got bigger, not smaller. My collection size being reduced has not yet gone to plan. I haven't been actively trying to trade yet. The weather's still a little chilly. As it warms up, I will do so. But I've gone up 2 games, 530 up to 532. My most played games, I played a lot of different games this month, so I don't have very many in-person games of the same game. I had two plays of Call of the Wild, so that would be my most played in-person game. And I had several plays of both Through the Ages and Conspiracy Abyss. I think 3 of each. Those were my asynchronous online plays. For the Top of the Stack itself, I had 4 games on my Top of the Stack. It's considered a win or a successful month if I do 3 of those. It was Alma Mater, Voyages, Llama Land, and Mesopotamia. And I did get to play Voyages, Llama Land, and Mesopotamia. Now, our play of Voyages didn't go great because my wife was really tired. It was kind of late at night. We shouldn't have started it when we did. So I want to play that again before I talk about it on the podcast. But we did play it, so I'm counting it. And thus, we got 3 of our 6. We're at 5 of 6. So keeping up with the pace. If I, at some point, play 1 extra, I'll be back to a full 100%. So that's great. On to new games. I tried several new games this month. Some of these I've talked about already. Some of them I haven't. Some of them I might not for a while because I played them online. And as I've mentioned before, and I mentioned in my episode about asynchronous plays, I like to play them a few times when I play them online because it's harder for me to get a feel for them. But I tried Llama Land, Equinox, Call of the Wild, Balloon Cup, Conspiracy, Abyss Universe, Legacies, Nidavellir, Mesopotamia, Katara, Dinosaur Island, Martian Chess, Deus, and Voyages. So that was a bunch of new games, which brings me up to 33 new games tried this year so far. 22 new games tried this year, up from 9 at the end of January. I did get to try 1 expansion this month. That was the Boats expansion for Isle of Cats, the new boats. It was pretty neat. They have, basically, with the new Isle of Cats large box that came in, there were a bunch of different expansions. One of them was new boats. It was 6 different boat maps that have different designs on them. So there you go. New boats. I brought 3 games out of the dust this month, 2 of them asynchronously online. Great Western Trail and A Feast for Odin both appeared on Board Game Arena, and I have played both a couple times. It's fun to get to know these games a little more intimately and a little more slowly. As much as I'd love to play them on the table, just finding the time to do so is really hard. So getting to play them online. And then I did play one game, I've talked about this already, Legacies. That's a tricky one because I didn't actually play it before as a retail product because it wasn't one, but I had played it 2 years ago, so I counted it as both a first play and an out of the dust play. We've made very little progress on our family 10x10 challenge. We're at 5 out of 100 plays, so really gotta step that up. We only have 3 games picked: Kingdom Rush, Cascadia, and Super Skill Pinball. So, yikes. On the other hand, I'm making great progress on my 52 game challenge. As a reminder, the 52 game challenge is a Geek List run on Board Game Geek in which there are 52 challenges that have a variety of different prompts and inspirations for what might cause you to play a game or how you could fill in a game to meet that goal. And over the course of the year, you're supposed to meet all 52. At the end of January, I had met 11. As of now, I've met 19. Here are the ones I fulfilled. Play a game with a beginner or learner version. That was Llama Land. Play a game where cards slide along a path. In Dinosaur Island, they slide along a path. Play a game with variable goals. That's Legacy. The end game goals change each round or each time you play based on how you're doing. The person who's in last place gets to pick a goal, generally. Play a game with a primarily yellow cover. This was an interesting challenge, but Katara, I would say, meets that need. It's the picture is nice and robust. It's got a variety of different looks to it, but the whole thing is done in Toad's shades of yellow, so absolutely fits that prompt. Play a game where you have to search for something or someone. I said Call of the Wild. You're searching for a mate and or food. Play a game where mechanics and theme are unrelated. I put Balloon Cup in this one. Balloon Cup is just a card game where you're trying to get control of cards and use those to buy trophies. The theme is entirely unnecessary and doesn't feel at all like a balloon race. Play a game that includes an exotic animal. Equinox is about a whole bunch of sort of fantastical forest creatures having a battle of some sort. So not only one exotic animal, all the exotic animals. And finally, play a game where the designer and the title share a vowel. So I said Nidavellir, which has both an A and an E in it, and designer Serge Leger has A's and E's in it. I didn't know if it's supposed to be like there's only one vowel and that vowel is shared. It was unclear to me, but that's the way I went with it, and we met that goal. So yeah, doing well on those various challenges, having fun with that list. Pretty soon, now that I've done 19, I'm almost halfway through the list, and it's only 2 months in. Now I'm gonna have to start being more deliberate in choosing games in order to meet some of those criteria. I'm sort of picking the low-hanging fruit here just with games I'm playing. And at some point I'm gonna need to shift and try to actively add games to my to-play list in order to meet some of those more complex requirements. So my shelf of opportunity, I mentioned, has gone down. I believe it's 57 games now. My collection did go up 2 games. I got Call of the Wild and Streets, but I did get to play Call of the Wild, so only Streets was added to my shelf of opportunity. On the other hand, I was able to remove Mesopotamia and Llama Land from the list. So I added 1 game to the list, but I removed 2. Actually, I thought I removed 3. What's the other one I removed? Yeah, I bought 2 games, which raised the list, and then I played 3 games. So yeah, feel like I'm missing something there, but I'm having trouble tracking it now while I'm walking. Oh, Voyages is the other one that I played that I hadn't played before. So yeah, there's 3 games. I played 3 games off the list and added 1. So that's why the total length went down by 2. My expansion list, however, is going out of control. I don't know if I mentioned, February and March are going to be, and April are going to be the months of massive Kickstarter reaping that Kickstarters I backed last year and the year before even. Some of them are going to be coming in over the next few months. I got the Isle of Cats big box with several expansions in it. The Canvas expansion showed up yesterday, Canvas Reflections. And there are more things on the way. The Perseverance Kickstarter from Mind Clash Games looks like it might fulfill by the end of March, although it's not clear. It could be as late as April for that to happen. Hey, here's a question, dear listener. How do I count Perseverance in terms of game played? Because Perseverance is actually 2 games. There's chapter 1 and chapter 2. They're separate games. They have a kind of narrative hook that connects them together, but they're meant to be separate games. So here's my question. If I play Perseverance 1, do I count the whole Perseverance as having been played? Or are they two separate games? Do I count Perseverance 1 and Perseverance 2 as separate games, even though they come in the same box? This is a conundrum, a question that I want you to answer because I don't want to have to answer it. All right, back to this. So like I said, a bunch of expansions came in. I did play one of them, the Isle of Cats new boats I mentioned, but you have a bunch of other stuff that came in that I haven't tried yet. The 2 Kickstarter packs and the Kittens and Beasts expansion for Isle of Cats all came in. I'm not sure. I may end up just marking the Kickstarter packs played. I have to look. I think that I just mixed all the stuff in with the regular game, in which case I don't know that I can mark it played or not played. So when we go to play the Kittens and Beasts, we'll do that. It's funny. The Kittens just adds a different kind of tile there, and you can get 2 kittens or 1 cat with a basket, and the kittens are super cute. It's gonna be a lot of fun to play with those. The beasts are these big chunky wooden pieces. It makes me regret a little bit that I didn't get the big cat pieces as well. But man, it feels like those are just wasteful. Like you barely use the wooden cat pieces in the game. They're not used for very much. And so it feels silly to pay a bunch of extra money for extra big things that you're not going to use at all. Tell that to the people who bought Dwellings of Eldervale. No, I'm kidding. It's Lords of Hellas that has miniatures that don't do very much, if I recall. Dwellings of Eldervale, they do move around on the board at least. And then I also mentioned Canvas Reflections. Finally, in my goal to play my top 50 games of all time, each once before the end of 2023, I played one of them this month. That was Cascadia. Which brings me to the end of my top of the stack list, which means it's time to let you know what's going to happen next month. So as I always do at the end of these top of the stacks, I pick out what are the games that I'm going to play in the next month, and I talk about those with you as well. So let's see what that's going to be. All right, so I know that March is going to be a busy month, so I have leaned a little bit into games I think I can get played. The first one, maybe the hardest one, this will be Vast the Crystal Caverns. This game may have been on my top of the stack list at some point in the deep past, but it's been a long time. I bought this game when it first came out, never played it. Then when they released the Kickstarter for the second game, they also did like an update pack with new player boards and a new rule book and a couple other things, and I got that and to put that into the game and got rid of the old stuff, and I still haven't played it. So I'm really out of touch with the Vast Crystal Caverns, but I always thought it sounded neat, and I'm looking forward to trying it. So this month we're going to try it. Then also I have on here a solo game, Hunted Kobayashi Tower. This is a game from Gabe Barrett, the showrunner for the Game Design Lab podcast. This was a 2-part. It's a series of games. There was Hunted Colony 42, which is like basically the aliens. Hunted Kobayashi Tower is basically Die Hard. Then he has another one that I did back, but that is sort of making its way here. And I can't remember what the theme of that one is. The Thing, maybe? And so the Kobayashi Tower I haven't played yet, but this is one where you are, again, trying to escape some bad guys and run around and defeat them. Hopefully I get to talk about menswear and global politics. That's Hunted Kobayashi Tower. The next one I want to try is Ticket to Ride New York. This is a 2-player Ticket to Ride game, supposed to have all the crunch and delight of Ticket to Ride stuffed into a 20-minute package. I'm thinking at some point we can get this played, give it a try, see what we think. I got this for a couple of bucks at Goodwill, but I would like to try it. I generally like Ticket to Ride quite a bit. I'm glad to have a variety of maps to play with, but I haven't tried this one. And then finally, for the reattempt, I'm throwing Alma Mater right back on there. I do want to get this played, and I'm excited to try it. So just stick it right back out there. With my game club getting back together, I'm hoping that I'll be able to bring it and put it out on the table and have a couple of people join me for a delightful game of academic nonsense. So other than that, I plan to continue playing asynchronous games. That's been a huge part of my game playing lately. I'm really enjoying diving deep into a number of games. I've continued with Agricola quite a bit. I've got a regular game of Castles of Burgundy going and a regular game of Concordia going. All of those are delightful and fun, and I hope that they will keep going. My plan is just to re-roll them when they go, at least a few times. Of course, if my opponents don't want to, that's fine. But yeah, It's been really great playing stuff online, and I hope that other people who are playing with me will continue to do so, and or add new games in. I did become a reviewer on Board Game Arena, so I get to try the new games as they bring those in. Arctic Scavengers is one that I'm testing right now. It's a little buggy, but pretty neat. Reminds me how much I like that game. So excited to play that some more as well. So head over to Board Game Geek Guild 3269 and let me know what you've been playing. How are you doing on your goals? Do you have any goals? What are they? Share them in the guild. Put them on digital paper so we can see what they are, and we can talk to you about whether you're doing a good job meeting them or not. It'll be fun. If you want to reach me individually, you can send me an email, brendan@rattleboxgames.com. You can send me a direct message on Board Game Geek. Wombat929 is my username there. You could reach out to me on Board Game Arena or Boitaju or yukata.de. Wombat929 is my username in all of those places as well, and I would love to play a game with you there. Well, I hope that your March is going to be a fantastic one. I hope your February was great, and I hope that your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.